Hello everyone, this is Brian Minzy with E3 IVXP. This is episode 2 of the Journey Home, and today we have a special guest from Barrett Financial. His name is Nick Ohanian. Thank you for joining us today, Nick. And we're going to go over a little education on VA loans and what they are and why we should use them and why we're not using them. So stay tuned. All right, Nick and I have known each other for 5 years now. We used to work out with each other. I used to be a trainer, and Nick was a Division I baseball player, and that's how our relationship started. And as we've gotten older, our career paths have changed a little bit here. So I just want you to introduce yourself to the audience, give a little introduction, and your family veteran background and career background.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been 5 years. I met you freshman year of college. Career was kind of shaky. You know, I had a coach that knew you. He lived up by you and, said you were the man to go to. So, that's how I ended up in your gym. And, without you, I probably wouldn't have made it to Grand Canyon. I picked up a lot from you through training and, made me a whole lot better. And, I got to Grand Canyon, ultimately because of you. So, I thank you for that and everything. So when I was at Mesa Community College, that's where I started out. Got injured in high school, so didn't go the Division I route. Then, like I said, because of you, I was able to get better education and get some money over at Grand Canyon. So I do have a lot of family that has served. I have friends that have served as well. And that was always something that intrigued me. Growing up, I always wanted to be like you, right? I wanted to be Brian Minzy. I wanted to be a warrior, right? I wanted to be the guy that everyone looked up to, right? You're a normal guy, but you did something special for me, right? And for her and for people you don't even know, right? So that was something that always intrigued me, but ultimately, I chose the route of baseball. I was really good at it. I had some family members that played professionally, so I took it and ran, wanted to get my money for college and get through. And, up until probably junior year, that seemed like it was going to be my career path. Unfortunately, I had an injury, which kind of sidelined things, but I was still able to get my education, which is cool. I majored in macroeconomics and finance, minored in banking. So I was sort of lost when I graduated. Baseball ended, you spend 18 years of your life doing something, kind of disappears one day, right? So I sort of had to figure something out, right? I wanted to help people. I just had no idea what I wanted to do. So I got in the car industry because that's where my family is, just as a way, I needed money out of college and stuff. So then it morphed into real estate. I wanted to put my financial degrees to use. I do have a family member, she's an investment banker, and kind of entertained that a little bit and thought, not really, it's just strict numbers. I'm not really doing anything very tangible. So then, through a friend, I ended up getting into mortgages. And the owner of my branch at Barrett, my team at Barrett, he was in the military for a long time as well. His name's Howard Welling. Really, really cool dude, super knowledgeable. He's been in mortgages for 23 years now. But through him, I've been able to sort of specialize in VA loans. So a lot of my friends and family, like I said, were veterans. So, when you first start out, you start reaching out to friends and family. So I found myself in a lot of VA loans pretty quick. But Howie, he knows what he's doing, right? He was a veteran, so obviously specializing in VA is kind of his thing, his bread and butter. So I was able to learn, all the special nuances with VA loans and quickly found myself outpacing a lot of, veteran loan officers in VA loans. There's a lot of special caveats that you might not know that you need to, right, to make them a better product.
Well, first off, that's an amazing journey. And I just wanted to go back a little bit about you saying how you looked up to me. Something you don't know about me is when I was a little boy all the way up to high school, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. That was my dream. Nothing was going to get in my way type mentality, and that's all I worked on, and I engulfed myself in baseball, and so it just didn't work out. And so when you came into the gym, I looked up to you like, man, this guy's living my dream. I wanted to help you in any way possible. So I appreciate you saying that about me, but it goes both ways there. And I also want to say thank you to Howie and his veteran experience and his career, and how he continues to serve and want to help veterans out there in your team as a collective team, and your guys' goal to help veterans. So I really appreciate that. And I just maybe want to hear a little bit more about how much you guys actually help the veteran community, and what you guys are doing monthly.
Yeah, that's something. Right? I wouldn't have thought that, right? I wouldn't. But on a brighter note, Howie, we'll get back to Howie. So I work on a team at Barrett Financial. So Barrett Financial is a big brokerage in Arizona of loan officers. I think we have over 200 or something like that, through California, Washington, states like that. So the team that I work on is Howard Welling and Chris Velasco. Chris is from Wells Fargo. He was a mortgage banker with them for 15, 20 years, something like that. Howie's been all over the place in the mortgage industry. He's been a processor, branch manager, a whole bunch of different things. He worked at big banks, brokerages, so these guys know what they're doing, right? And they mesh really well together. So, I got into this having zero idea, right? Good at numbers. That's all I know, right? Numbers. Mortgages, no clue. Real estate, no clue. VA real estate, even less of a clue, right? So the thing about them is they work so well collectively just to make, loans smoother and things like that. And then on top of that, you have Howie, who's been able to impart these VA loans, to Chris and then to me. And, we have 3 other people that work on our team. So we're even right now we're doing a mail drop because of where rates are at it, on VA loans. And a lot of people aren't aware of just how low they are currently. So we're actually doing a mailer in a few states, Tennessee, Washington, California, that are strictly VA loan.
All right, let me stop you right there. Let me explain to you something from the military side. Like in the Navy, I lived on a ship, a little bunk, and then eventually I got out into town where we can rent military housing, and then or possibly stay at another buddy's house or stay in apartments, surf couching, whatever. Whatever you can do to not live on a ship, right? It's not the best living experience. Yeah. And then when I came home, I didn't even know anything about VA loans whatsoever. Okay, but I didn't have any desire to purchase a home yet because I wanted to go back into the service. So that's when I transitioned and went into the Army. Now in the Army, they have barracks, right? It's like small little dorms. For us, and then if you're married like I was or have children like I have, you get to go out in town as well. Now I have friends that have purchased homes while they're in the military, but you're constantly deploying and you may change units or you may move, and that's a headache. And so for the most of us, we don't purchase homes, we rent. And when I got home, I rented and rented and rented, and I'm still currently renting right now to this day. So it's my dream to purchase a home. And but I first need to know, what is a VA loan? Why is it important to me? It's a benefit that I know and think I have, and I believe I do have, but I have no idea what it is or how to even remotely use it. So if you could just talk a little bit about that, explain to the veteran community, what a VA loan is and how to use it.
Yeah, that's a huge question that a lot of veterans have, right? It's very poorly explained, in my opinion. VA loans, I believe, are the most substantial mortgage product you can have, right? When you look at FHA, conventional, things like that. When you think of VA, you think, Veterans Administration. It's the first thing you think of. So the Veterans Administration, they don't write loans, right? They're not a direct lender. They're not a bank. What they do on these VA loans is it's a government loan, government-backed loan. So they back a percentage of this loan. It's a security to the lenders. So the biggest thing about VA loans is that there's zero down. So you can put $0 down, buy a house. So you can finance 100% of the house. There's no other mortgage product that you can do that with, right? And that's the first thing that I feel like a lot of veterans don't know, is every single veteran, even National Guard, even reserves, you were given this right? You have a right to get a VA loan, right? You did something for this country that a lot of people don't. You deserve something, right? And you deserve something very, very good. And a VA loan where you can put $0 down and buy a house at whatever cost is beautiful, right? And there's no limits as far as, how big of a house or how big of a loan, whatever. There's no limits there. You can come to the table with $0, right? You can go buy a house today with $0. You can buy a house that the mortgage payment is less, I can almost guarantee is less than what you're paying in rent right now. There's no mortgage insurance, no monthly mortgage insurance.
Okay, hold on. I'm a little bit confused. I'm Mr. Renter, so I have no idea what mortgage insurance is. So if you can go back a little bit there and just explain to me as the renter, mortgage insurance and no down payment. Again, go over that because that seems really good to me.
All right, that's a great question. So let me break down the typical first-time home buying scenario. So the typical home buyer is using an FHA loan. It's another government-backed loan like VA loans that's intended for first-time home buyers. So the first thing with FHA loans is they require a minimum of a 3.5% down payment. So it's 3.5% of the total loan amount. So if you're buying a $300,000 house in Arizona, the minimum you'd have to put down would be $10,500. And that's before closing costs, before realtor costs, all those things considered, right? So that's just $10,500 in just down payment. So on top of that, with FHA loans, is they charge an upfront premium for mortgage insurance. So you asked what mortgage insurance was. Mortgage insurance is the lenders trying to protect themselves from you defaulting. So unless you put 20% down on a conventional loan, you'll have, this mortgage insurance every month. It could be $100, could be $200-$300. It all varies, depends. But that's essentially telling the lender that you don't have enough skin in the game, to maybe not default on it. If you're putting 20% down on a house, right, $60,000 on a $300,000 house, the lender goes, okay, they're probably not going to default, right? They're an easier person to lend money to. They have some skin in the game now. So the thing about FHA versus VA is on an FHA loan, you not only pay a premium, which is a percentage, again, up front for mortgage insurance, right? Could be 2-3%. That they pay for the premium, and then on top of that, you have mortgage insurance every single month for 11 years, regardless of what your house is worth. So even if you get to that 80% loan to value mark, right, you have 20% of your own money invested, even if you get there on FHA, you still have mortgage insurance for 11 years, right? On VA loans, there's no mortgage insurance, there's no mortgage insurance premium up front, and there's no down payment. So same scenario, $300,000 house. How much did you put down for FHA, first time home buyer, right? You put $10,500 down. Well, you might also have another, $2,000-$3,000 for $5,000 in the premium, the upfront mortgage insurance premium. So now we're $14-15 grand in before closing costs, realtor fees, all things considered. Adverse scenario, a VA loan, your down payment is $0. Put $0 down. Your upfront mortgage insurance premium is $0 because there isn't one. The one caveat with VA loans is there is a VA funding fee. So, and that's essentially how the VA continues to fund this program and allow veterans to be able to continue using it.
Now, is the funding fee similar to the mortgage insurance premium, something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's definitely confusing for a lot of people, right? Me included, right? It's confusing for everyone. So the main difference is that the mortgage insurance premium on FHA loans is an additional backing for the lender, right? An additional security for them. It's just extra money out of your pocket that you don't need to spend, but you're forced to, right? Just like mortgage insurance each month, they use it to secure themselves, which I understand, right? but you shouldn't be paying that. Especially if you have a program like the VA where you don't need to, right? You don't need to waste money. So with the VA, that funding fee is used to help facilitate keeping these loans going, right? It helps produce their backing to these lenders so you guys can keep getting these loans.
All right, well, thank you for clearing that up. In our journey home as veterans, education is the most important. All right, preventing veteran homelessness to me is in a 3-tier program. Okay, the guys getting out of the military, the guys that have been home for a while, and then the guys who are struggling, in and out of the shelters, going in and out of the VA, and and we need to be educated by people like you on how to, save our money and get into the right loans and find the team that works best for us on our behalf, because we're not realtors and we're not loan officers. So my next question to you would be like, why do veterans not use this benefit like we should?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest question of them all, right? Why do veterans not use their benefits? Why are 98% of veterans in the United States not taking advantage of their VA loan benefits, right? For instance, within the E3 project, the commander of the VFW Fountain Hills is in an FHA loan, right? The commander of the VFW. Why? Why is that, right? Why do veterans not know? And ultimately it boils down to education, right? A lack of education within the real estate community, within the investing community. It's not a particular fault of anybody. It's just simply not knowing, right? The VA program is very, very good. It's a very powerful product, but there's a lot of special caveats to that, right? That realtors need to be aware of, that loan officers need to be aware of. And if they're not, it doesn't sell houses, right? It doesn't sell refinances. If you're telling someone that you're going to close on a house in 30 days, right? They're going to buy a house. And if you have a loan officer that's not well educated in the VA, market, then they could forget a few things, right? There's certain nuances that need to be covered to go smoothly, right? And if they're just simply unaware of that, that's fine, but it's gonna create a longer closing time, right? So then homeowners and realtors aren't gonna wanna accept VA loans because more often than not, 30-day close is now 45, 50, 60 days because there's these special nuances that weren't covered immediately, and it's simply because they just didn't know, right? It's no fault of anyone specifically. It's just simply a lack of education in a specialized program.
Well, it just amazes me that that amount of veterans aren't using their loan, and I personally, I'm a renter, so I personally haven't used one yet, and I plan to. Right now, it doesn't fit my situation at this current moment. So should there be a building of a plan, or do you guys work with us to help us get started so that maybe my dream home and us moving out next year is a reality instead of just another vision? So I want you to talk about if you guys help us build plans and how to even get started. Where do we turn?
All right, so you're currently renting, right? You and your family. You don't have any sort of plan, right? Like you said, you're not currently in a position to buy a home, but do you even know that, right? Do you even know if you are or not? That's the biggest thing. Is I feel like a lot of veterans and home buyers in general, right? They don't reach out to people, in the correct industries that they can help them answer some questions. So, right, my job, I'm a loan officer. It's what I do, right? So I'm assuming, hopefully, that I would have answers for you regarding your loan. So with you not knowing, I guess the first step for you and for veterans that don't think they could buy a home is find a loan officer, preferably one that's well educated in VA loans, and just start asking them some questions. Say, hey, could you help me out? This is how much money we have. This is kind of the house we were looking at. This is how much we could pay each month. Maybe provide some paperwork, some income paperwork, things like that. Here's my credit score. Just some simple stuff, right? in 10, 15 minutes, maybe not even that long, we can get a good plan together for you. What type of, house, how expensive, how much can you afford each month? When do you think it's a good time frame to buy, a year out from now, 2 years, possibly even, what do I need to do now to prepare for that?
Well, that makes me feel better already. Maybe I am ready to buy a house, and I'm, just like you said, I'm that person that has put it off because of the unknown. The credit scores or the income. Do we have enough? I just recently had a baby girl. We've got, a house full of kids. Like, do I have enough money to get the house that we need? I don't want to just get a house because I want to get a house. I want this house to be the dream house that we can live in and grow the family. So, that gives me some, positive thoughts here that I can actually do this and I don't have to wait any longer. So we'll definitely be reaching out after this. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for having me. And, I look forward to working with you in the future. To all the veterans out there, the American dream, that's what everyone wants, right? And, we have that ability to dream about that because of you guys. So buying your first home isn't a scary process, and it shouldn't be. Inquiring about what you need to do to buy a home shouldn't be a stressful process. I feel like I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I'll meet you at a bar, restaurant, your house, whatever. I'd love to talk to you anytime. You can call me, text me, email me, whatever, right? You just need to start your plan, start your path, and say, look, here's my 2-year plan, here's my 1-year plan, right? 6 months from now, I'm gonna have my dream home. Me and my kids, my dogs, we're gonna have our dream home, right? We're gonna be able to afford it, we're gonna be in a good position, and you're gonna live the American dream, right? Everything that you guys have worked for. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart to Barrett Financial, Howie, Chris, and Nick. I appreciate all of your service and your committed community service to our veterans. We appreciate it. Veterans, if you are looking to buy a home, please give them a call and get that dream home that we deserve. I also want to mention Veterans Crisis Line. Veterans, if you're going through anything whatsoever, please call them. It's 1-800-273-8255. Press the number 1. There's also a texting option, 838-255. Scottsdale Bible Church also has a pastor on call, 480-824-7200. These people are here to help. Don't be scared. Don't isolate yourselves. And all veterans of all kinds, of all parts of history, of all the wars, thank you for your service. Thank you for allowing us to come home and live the dream that we so much desire to do. And thank you for tuning in to The Journey Home. God bless you.